I've got my Chiefs gear on today, and I'm with my friend Rusty George. Rusty, say hello to everyone.
Hello to everyone.
What we're here to talk about today is Rusty's new book, Better Together. You are a great communicator. You are a visionary. You are a solid leader. You could write on many different things, right? So why did you choose a book on community and relationships?
Because I didn't believe in it for a long time. I'm an introvert. I recharge better alone than I do with people. I think if you're a church leader, you either are an introvert to begin with or you've become one. Just because of people pushing you away, and so you push people away, you keep a safe distance from everybody, you isolate yourself. Most of us are isolated. Most of us live online, we shop online, we interact online, where we can control the narrative with everybody, and thus we're very isolated. No one really knows us. We don't really know anybody. So the book really comes out of my personal experience with that, because I felt very isolated at a period of my life. I pushed everybody aside. I had my feelings hurt. I was betrayed by people. I felt like I couldn't trust anybody. I lived with the mantra of the X-Files, trust no one. So I just decided to go inward, and that's when I got even lonelier. I talk in the book about how I went on about a 6-month deep dive into myself, where I did the whole strength finders and personality types and psychiatrist, psychologist, chiropractor, dentist, trainer, any kind of thing you could use and person you could use to help yourself. I did it all. And at the end of it, I knew a lot about myself, but I wasn't any happier. I was still lonelier. Jesus was really onto something when he said that if you want to find your life, you lose it. If you want to, lose your life, then you try to find it. And I was trying to put myself first, trying to, become a very self-hyphenated type of person, selfish, self-consumed, self-focused, and in the end I lost myself. So that's why the book came out, because I found that community brought me back, and I thought others might appreciate that too.
I've even found that surrounding yourself with the right kind of people, no matter how you handle stress, can really help your life.
Right. Yeah, I think what happens is when you put yourself in some kind of community, whether it's a small group, a life group, a recovery group, whatever it is, you put people around you that are going to highlight your weaknesses and even compensate for them. That person that drives you crazy and bugs you may be a help to you, because they're grinding off some of those rough edges to you. You don't have to be around people that you constantly love and get and understand all the time, because that doesn't really sharpen you. That just is more like comforting to you. So all different personalities help us become who we are.
What are some steps that a person can take if they're afraid of getting into community?
Yeah, I would say seek to serve first. If you go into community from the perspective of what am I going to get out of this, you'll always be let down. If you go into community with your guard up, with like, how are you going to hurt me and I'll protect myself, you're always going to be let down. Did you know where the eyes tend to go when you meet a new person? You would assume it's their face, but instinctively you look at their hands. Now, you might not even notice it. I didn't notice it. But even if it's just out of the corner of our eye, we're looking to see what people's hands are doing, because that's kind of like our primal nature of trying to figure out if somebody have a weapon. In speaking, you shouldn't come out and start talking with your hands in your pockets, because subliminally you're telling people, I'm hiding something. Mm-hmm. So when you go into a relationship with your hands in your pocket, so to speak, with this kind of I'm guarded kind of thing, you're not seeking to serve. But if you go in hands out, how can I help? Not what can I take, but how can I help? Everybody likes to have people in their life to help them. And so go into those relationships, you do become more empathetic. I took a long way to get to that answer. I'll give you an example. My family and I, for years, when we see somebody on the side of the road with a little cardboard sign, we give them $1 or $5 or whatever we have on us. And then we started carrying little homeless packs with us, whether it's some crackers, bottled water, Kleenex, whatever, and we'd hand that to them. And then we decided, you know what? We don't know these people at all. We don't know their stories. Let's start serving at our homeless ministry we do at the church, where we feed people. Okay, so we stood behind the counter and we were giving them food. How are you doing? What's your name? They move on. And then one week, we actually sat at the table with them. And that is when the real revelation happened, because we began to figure out why they're homeless. And it's often not the reason you think that it is.
Right.
We figure out their story, the kids that they don't have contact with anymore, the difficulties that they had at work, the skills that they have, but they can't find a job. And suddenly now I'm so much more empathetic than I was when I would just hand $1 out the window.
And you're also modeling how to be empathetic, how to lean into someone and build a relationship for your kids as well, right?
Yeah, that's definitely the hope. Yeah. And I love it when we leave there and they're energized by it and they want to talk about and they want to pray for these individuals that we just met.
When somebody reads this book and they get done with, the very last page and they close it and they're done reading it, what do you hope are their next steps?
My hope is that they will admit they need others, find a safe place to do that, hopefully in your local church, and find 4 or 5 other people to read the book with.
If you're a pastor or Christian leader and you're looking for a book for your staff to go through or for your church or to highlight the importance of community, I would definitely recommend Better Together.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Please.
Okay, so I wrote a book about 10 years ago on the book of Philippians. It was a little, study guide kind of thing. And I got the set of books sent to me first, so I could give some away and all that. And I gave a copy to everybody on our staff. And I wrote a little note in there, hey, thanks for your help with this, whatever. Well, there was a lady on our staff who helped design the cover. So I wrote in there, thank you so much for all your help with the cover. I hope you enjoy this, Rusty. Gave her the book. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, fast forward 10 years. A couple months ago, I'm looking for a copy of that book. And I can't find it. And we're going to do a series of Philippians, and I'm trying to find this book. I can't find it, so I go on Amazon. And I find there are used copies out there. So I buy one. It gets mailed to me. I open it up, and what does it say? Thank you for all your help with the cover of this book. Rusty George. I'll say one last thing. I know it's your show.
No.
BetterTogetherStudy.com is where you can get free resources for the book. Small group discussion questions, small group videos you can show in small groups, messages, even one message I've pre-recorded that you can just show to your congregation. And then also, if you want to just get the book, go to my website, PastorRustyGeorge.com, PastorRustyGeorge.com, and go there and subscribe, and we'll create a place on there where you can enter the code word Caleb, C-A-L-E-B. And the first 10 people that do that get a free book sent to you.
Free book, come on.
Autographed, and you can sell it.
Autographed by them, not me.
I'll buy it from you.
10 years later.
10 years later.
And if they're in the Los Angeles area and they're interested in finding out more about your church, what's the website that they can go to?
Yep, reallifechurch.org.
reallifechurch.org. Rusty's a fantastic communicator. I would highly recommend you guys checking out Real Life Church. Rusty, thanks so much.
Thank you. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.